This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us. Check out IWC, RWA, and more. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Hungry as fuck, but I ain't starving yet. Paying for the pain, cocktail dollar set. Never said I was a gangster or thug, but I'm an animal. Beating for the taste of the fly.
Hey guys, it is the Indy Mayhem Show. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this is the show where we talk with people in and around independent professional wrestling of all walks and all skill levels and all experience. We've had a lot of veterans. We've had promoters recently. And today, it's been a while since we've had some of the new blood in here. So I'm excited to get to that here. But first, please go check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. It's where you can check out all the fine wrestling podcasts that we're doing on the Wrestling Mayhem Show side of the network. You can subscribe to the Indy Mayhem Show on your favorite podcast provider or the Wrestling Mayhem Show super feed so you get everything wrestling that we're doing here at Sorgatron Media. Also, please go check out IndyWrestling.us where you can see our guests today and several other of our guests in the past and the past episodes of this very podcast and video forms as well over there as well. IndyWrestling.us. Check out the network VODs, DVDs. Yes, I'm getting DVD orders. It's crazy. People are really jumping in physical media in the month of October, apparently. So I appreciate all the support everybody's doing out there. So we are going to get into it with our guest for today. Jayce Karr is joining us in studio today as well. Jayce, how you doing?
Good. How's it going, man? Good to be here.
Of course, I was introduced to you filming a match where you jumped off a playset.
Yep.
And I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, that was a little aggressive.
That was a good introduction.
Yeah.
So there was the next one. It used to be every time I walk into a venue and I knew Facade was on the card, I was like, okay, he's going to jump off of that. Look out. And now you're the next guy I got to watch out for, apparently.
Yeah. Facade's actually been a big influence on me, and he's actually helped me train. So that's cool that you would make that comparison. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Old time friend. Knew him from before he was wrestling.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get into it. A little break the ice, since you're probably new to a lot of people out there, listeners out there in the network. So the first question I usually like to throw out there is, what is your earliest memory of professional wrestling?
First memory, I would say I was probably 6 or 7 years old. My grandma used to be obsessed with wrestling, which is pretty interesting, but that's how I got into it. And she basically, we would just watch it every time I was over at their house. Mm-hmm. And my first memory would probably be Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. Right?
Ooh, the bloody one.
Yeah, that was a very cool match, and Shawn Michaels was around back then too, and he was a big reason why I got into it. But I've always been a fan ever since I could remember. A huge fan. Like, my friends used to think I was weird for it, but it was one of those things that just became an obsession. I was always into sports and stuff, but that was always my main thing.
So a pretty athletic background going into this.
Right. I played baseball, my whole life. I played through college. After college, I played over in Japan, Germany. So I've been overseas, and I've seen a lot of things, but this new wrestling thing has really taken over my life.
So that's interesting, because a lot of times we talk with guys about and girls about this is the thing that they're hoping gets them to Japan and Europe and things like that. But you've already had that experience.
Right. And it's awesome over there. I had a ton of fun. I was a lot younger then. Mm-hmm. But I would love to go back to Japan. That's kind of my goal right now, is to, get the experience over here so I can go back there and, say I was a baseball player and a professional wrestler over there.
That is because they love their baseball there too,
yes,
right?
They do.
That's like an adopted pastime, it feels like, over there.
Yeah, they're obsessed with baseball over there. It's like NFL is over here pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So tell me, we were talking a little bit beforehand, and I, when I don't know a lot about you, I've only seen you like literally at one show,
right?
So I didn't have a chance to get to know, but kind of asked around about you, and I heard you got a really interesting story about kind of what you went through before going into pro wrestling. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the character you see, that you guys will see, I've only had handful of matches, 10 or 12 matches or whatever, it's going to be unequivocally me. The message I'm trying to get out there is a wholesome one. I might be, you know, kind of crass in the way I do it. I'm not a good boy or anything, but, you know, about 2 years ago, you know, I was an alcoholic, and I'll say that bluntly. It was a bad period of my life, something that I had to struggle with, you know, but I found myself on literally death's doorstep and, you know, kind of fought out of it. And about 6 months later, you know, I went to rehab, got better, and I found wrestling. And, you know, some people say that wrestling, you know, changes their life. Well, I can firmly say that it saved my life, which is something I'll never forget. And thank you to everybody around this area for giving me just the opportunity to show what I can do. And with, you know, my character on screen or whatever, it's going to be me. And I want to spread the message that, you know, you can do this. You can dig yourself out of a hole, even as deep as the one I was in, and, you know, follow your dreams, which is something that I'm very proud of doing.
That's great. So did you kind of like tell me a little bit about the process? You know, you're dealing with these issues. Did you kind of just re-engage with wrestling kind of through this process?
Yeah, so I mean, I was pretty deep in the business world. You know, I had a 9-to-5 job, everything. I was doing well as far as that goes. Obviously, those things lead to different, you know, demons and things like that.
Yeah,
So I kind of fell in that trap. And when I got out, you know, I was kind of starting from nothing again, starting from scratch. So I said, you know, getting a little older, you know, I might as well, you know, I've always had this one dream. It was I love baseball, love sports, loved everything like that. But that one dream was always wrestling, and I always, you know, it was always in the back of my mind. So I said, screw it, and started chasing my dream.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so that like it was always in your head, kind of growing up, like from seeing Stone Cold and Bret Hart. Was that always like I want to get in there and do that thing?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, I used to do the backyard stuff when I was in middle school,
and now you're doing it again, practically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, with the shows we've been having lately.
Yeah. Thank you, COVID, for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been fun. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I want to get back to that in a moment, but so I, you know, on this, you know, obviously we know a lot of friends that are straight edge in the business and everything too, but also this is a business, of course. I mean, one of your favorite wrestlers was Stone Cold Steve Austin. What's he known for, right?
Right.
But of course, you know, the demons crop up there. You know, there's a lot of alcohol and the boys, you know, going out for a drink afterwards. Is that a concern going into that? Was that something that you kind of gauged a little bit going into this process?
Yeah, it was a concern. I know that the guys like to party, but I've been able to, you know, hang out, and, you know, I can still have fun without drinking and everything. So it's not a big deal. And everybody's been super accepting. Like all the guys in the back, they, you know, they're awesome with it. So they never, you know, try to force me to drink or anything, obviously.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're super cool. And I know a few straight edge guys that I've been able to hang out with. And, you know, it's just been a great experience all in all. But yeah, that's pretty much.
That's awesome.
Pretty much how it goes.
So going from that, you know, you debuted, if I'm not mistaken, did you debut in July with that crop of people?
Yeah.
Okay, so you debuted right in the middle of the COVID situation, and I'm sure it was probably supposed to be a few months beforehand before things went out of whack like everybody else. So tell me, tell me about that experience of being kind of making your debut in the middle of all this craziness.
Man, it was tough. We my class especially really had to grind for it. So it was actually funny. We were in training back in, when was this May, when this all started, and I tore my knee up bad, MCL, ACL, tore my calf, tore my hamstring all at the same time in training. So I was out for about, you know, a solid 4 months, and that's right when COVID hit. So it was kind of lucky. But yeah, whenever we got back into the ring, my knee was all rehabbed and everything, so I was good to go. So I got lucky, kind of. But also, you know, there's not as many shows running now, so it's a grind, definitely, and we're loving every minute of it, though. It just makes it tougher.
of course, different situations. I know, if I'm not mistaken, you've been on some of the shows that have been at like movie theaters and baseball fields and outdoor. I don't think has anything been inside at this point.
I have not.
Wait. Inside with a proper audience. Let me put that stipulation.
No, not at all. It's all been outside, and it's been cool. I mean, my first match, it was about 95 degrees out, and I was dying. I almost got back and passed out, but we got through it, and
it was like a high noon show, wasn't it?
Oh my God, it was rough. That was the first drive-in, and it was fun. We had great opponents, Bulk Nasty and Xander. So can't say enough good things about them, but we got beat up pretty good.
Yeah. I was like, it's like congratulations, and I'm sorry at the same time.
Yeah,
knowing Bulk's involved.
Yeah, he was a good guy to work with. Can't say enough nice things about him now, but yeah, he beat us up.
That's great. So you've had a few other, obviously with IWC, with RSW. RSW is a whole different environment. They're of course recording their things for Facebook Live, and things like that.
Right.
I've been down to their newest facility that they'd been working out of. It's again another something a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is different. Wrestling in a warehouse in front of a few people. I always hear those stories from like those guys that were toward the Indy, CM Punk, Adam Cole, those guys that they wrestled in front of 3 people, and it was like, wow, we're actually doing that.
You're literally doing that.
Yeah.
it's like the boys and the ones that brought their kids usually.
Right. It was great learning experiences, though. As many matches as I can get in, the better.
Yeah. It's been with some of the projects that we've worked with. It's like, listen, let's get this good, and then when we get in front of an audience, we're going to be awesome, right? For some of the products we've been working on, and that's great for you guys too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Practice makes perfect, so that's what I'm just trying to do.
We do have I do have a note here. We're going to get into something about what's upcoming with 2PW, but I have to ask about that again. My first experience with you was this it ended up being dubbed the Suburban Brawl.
Yeah.
It was I got a call from Marshall Gambino. He gave me an address in little suburbia. You can see the houses in the background. It's over on Prospect Pro Wrestling's Facebook page and the Indie Wrestling YouTube page. Tell me a little bit about that, because again, it was another one of those in front of like a handful of people, yet with I think everybody could see you, at least like 25 houses can see you out of their back windows too.
Right. Yep.
But tell me a little bit about that and what ended up happening in that match.
It was a cool match. We got to the ring and everything, set it up, and I looked at the play set next to it, and I told A1 Anthony Young, I told him I'm jumping off that play set, doing a backflip. So he was like, "Oh my God, why? Like, what are you doing?" But
it's kind of why not at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. So, pretty much anything I see that's tall, I'm going to be jumping off it. And that goes for the future as well. So you're going to see a lot of excitement in my matches. You're going to see a lot of fun. So that's going to continue to happen. I've
seen it a couple times here teaming up with A1, Anthony Young. I saw him first back at Eclipse, I think in February, in like a 3-minute 4-way scramble.
Right.
That was one of the tightest things I saw for that quick and that many people involved. Tell me a little bit about you guys teaming up and kind of how that pairing came apart too.
Yeah, A1's an incredible athlete, and it's been a pleasure to work with him. We've been to several promotions together, working with each other, and they just decided to put us in a tag team. I'd like to think I'm a pretty decent athlete as well, showing some high flying stuff. So it's been a good mix of I'm kind of the daredevil, and he's more of the technician with the high flying stuff. But we both still get in the air. But yeah, A1's a great kid, and I can't say enough good things about that kid. And we actually travel together all over the place. We're going to IWA Mid-South this weekend in Indy. So yeah, that'll be great, and can't wait to work with him again.
So already, like, with the weird situations going on, this couple months in, you're already doing the multi, or is it just easier because everything's happening in Indiana anyways?
Yeah, that too. We were in Indy a couple weekends ago for ACH seminar, and it was great to meet him.
Awesome.
He was a great guy, but Yeah, I've been able to keep pretty busy with this stuff going on. Me and Cole Carter travel a lot together. He's a really good friend of mine, and we've kept booked pretty much every weekend. This past weekend, I was in Toledo for a wedding, and that was the first weekend I had to take off. So,
Oh, a collective weekend too.
yeah.
Oh, that's tough. It's like everything else wrestling was going on that weekend.
I know. But, there's going to be a lot more, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, the Pac-12 matches in with everything going on, and this few months into your career, that's awesome. So, what is the best and worst thing about your short indie career so far?
The worst thing I would say is kind of getting my message across. It's been kind of hard to set up, a story with anybody. It's been tough just because I do want to get who I am across, because it's not just some character. I really have a message that I've chosen this platform for. I'm a counselor as well, and my day job and everything for drug and alcohol rehab. It's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I think should be brought to the wrestling scene, the awareness of it. It's a thing. I mean, people need to start accepting that, and people need to start hearing that you can get over it and you can overcome these things and continue with your life and have even a better life, which is what I'm doing right now. So,
and the worst thing?
Well, that was the worst thing.
That was the worst thing, is figuring that out. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It seems like a positive message.
Well, yeah, I try to spin it to be positive.
Yeah.
The best thing I think was just, it's making me and my class tougher and closer as a class, I think, because we've had to go through the ringer really with this coronavirus and everything, and it's something that we've had to overcome, and I think that just makes a stronger person, builds more character, and I think our class is going to be one to be reckoned with in the future for sure.
It has been an impressive crew. Seeing you, A1, Cole Carter.
Carter.
Yeah. I saw him at an Imagine show not too long ago as well. I just saw Dax Hastings for the first time recently. Yeah. It's a really, really strong crew, and but a lot of them are coming out of that school that you're with those trainers. Were you trained by a mix of LeRusso and Andrew Palace?
Yeah, I mean, mostly LeRusso this time. But yeah, I mean, Palace, I can't say enough good things about him. He's such a good guy, and he's helped us when he can.
Yeah.
They kind of switched off, but it was mostly LeRusso, and LeRusso.
He's in there enough to get your cardio up, right? I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his specialty. So he beats us up, but no, he's awesome, and we've had to grind through the winter, through the summer in that facility, and it's a tough place to come up, but we made it through. So
a classic warehouse, no heating situation, from what I understand too.
It gets rough, and that ring's hard as a rock.
So what I understand, like I said, you debuted recently with the Prospect Pro Wrestling, and Prospect's been doing some very interesting things lately.
Yes,
let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
Making their way in this COVID era of wrestling, as we've been calling it recently. And I did get a message from the management over there, and they'd like us to announce, since you're on here, we're going to announce your match actually it's for 2PW's Hardcore Halloween. 2PW's the training sessions. That is going to be coming up here on October 30th on iPay-per-view. You can go check that out at IndyWrestling.us. And you're going to, and I'm looking at this match, and I have a lot of question marks on it right off the bat. I got to tell you that much.
Oh, boy.
And I'm seeing some faces that I have not seen in 2PW. So I'm told, let's see if I got the right one here. So first of all, there's you. You're teaming up with Anthony Young. We were just talking about him against Chase Gold and Manchild.
Manchild. I don't know much about Manchild.
I have seen him once.
Okay.
And I think it was a Toys and Attic match.
Wow. He's a big boy, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. So and of course Chase Gold, I think you're familiar with your travels as well. Of course, Freaky and involved in that as well. But it's a freak show match.
Okay.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
In this context, but apparently it is a 2 out of 3 falls match. Your first fall is pinfalls are a count of 5 to win, which feels very Biggie from back in the day. Fall 2 is going to be a submission only match. Okay. And then finally, fall 3 will be anything goes.
Okay, that's right up my alley.
That's right up your alley. Well, and I don't know much about the venue. We've seen some pictures about, from 2PW lately and everything like that. I don't know if they've told you any information about where it is, how it is. I don't even know what state it is at this point.
Right. Neither do I. It looks like a cool place. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun, me and A1. Every time we get together, it's going to be a cool match. So I would buy that one. If I was the audience, yeah.
Are you concerned about Chase and Manchild teaming up for, I think, the first time here?
I mean,
they got a lot of backup at ringside.
Yeah, and that Manchild guy looks pretty big. So that'll be tough, but I can always flip onto him. But Chase Gold is all talk, and I got nothing to say about him.
How does he smell?
Terrible.
Terrible?
Terrible.
I try not to get that close.
Yeah, screw Chase Gold.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That'll be part of the 2PW's Hardcore Halloween. Again, IndyWrestling.live. And you can see, of course, our man here, on the 2PW Suburban Slam that we have out here, and I'm sure you'll be popping up here and there a bit as well, RSW, things like that. Where can people see catch up on you online on your social media?
You can hit me up on Instagram at the Jayce Karr. Same with Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much, but Facebook, Jayce Karr as well. And I'll be uploading new stuff here in the coming weeks, just highlights and things like that from my matches. But yeah, definitely reach out.
Awesome. Go check that out. Again, one of the up-and-comers. This will be one that I'm sure when he pops up on TV, fighting Wardlow or something, we get to say, hey, remember when we talked to this guy when he was just starting up in 12 matches? Just like, go check out the rest of the back catalog. I mean, there's a lot of people we do that with. Britt Baker, we interviewed her after like one match in my basement back when we used to do the show there. So a lot of fun stuff. A lot of those interviews going up on IndyWrestling.us's YouTube page as well, so you can go revisit some of those great conversations over the year. Thank you so much, and until next time, please support Indy Wrestling. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.